Y'all, y'all, y'all ready for this? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Sports, and here we are. This is what we've been talking about all year. The man, the myth, the legend, Brian Sheepdog, Titletown, which is me, Rev Trev, in the finals. Are you kidding me? We talked all year, bro. Welcome to the channel. Here we are in the finals together. How you doing?
Hey, buddy. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I was supposed to be here, I think, week one when you and I played in the show and couldn't make it. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And it's been a grind. This season's been insane. So we're going to talk a little bit, of course, about the show and minor league. And yeah, man, it's just been nuts. So lots of surprises. First of all, first and foremost, you with your team, how you drafted on a 4-game losing streak. We were both baffled. But I kept saying to you, man, don't trade anyone. This is good enough. You can go 4 wins in a row. Well, you doubled that and went 8. So tell us what's been the secret to your success this year.
No panic. No panic. Trust is my philosophy in drafting. And I made a move there with Ruben. Turned out to be bad on my part, but that kind of just kickstarted the rest of my team. It was like, hey, you guys are playing like scrubs. Let's turn this thing around. And they did. So that's pretty much the philosophy there. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, unreal, right? Who would have thought that he'd turn around and have the season he's having? So just picked right there. So yeah, no, Jonathan Taylor. All my leagues, I think I got Jonathan Taylor, and every single league I got him in, I'm in the finals. So that's the secret ingredient right there.
Yeah. Well, and we both had the same strategy coming into keepers. We both kept tight ends. Mine ended up being healthy, but Waller was a great selection. So it was Waller and Taylor, right, were your 2 keepers?
Yep.
And then you drafted extremely well around that as well. Made a couple of moves that made your team even stronger. You ended up being first place in the whole league. 8 and 6. You are the highest point total. I mean, that's nothing to shake. Just to push away here, man. That's an accomplishment. So well done. And you might win the championship here. So this might be the golden season for you.
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, you never know. You never know. So, I mean, I'm planning on winning. Don't get me wrong. But let's just quickly look at playoffs. As everyone knew, I went to the Chargers Chiefs game, OT thriller. It was amazing. Came home, had contracted COVID. So I haven't done video in 2 weeks. I haven't talked about playoffs at all yet. And but week 1, you almost lost to Vic's Doggy Daycare, 67-61. Wow. Like were you stressing or what?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that was the week where like everyone was out on COVID, and it was just a wild week. Like it was like every team just played and they had no idea what was going on. So yeah, it was a bad week all around.
Yeah, and like Jonathan Taylor had 23 points, and everyone else except for Josh Allen just did not do anything for you. And so, that is, this is fantasy football. People don't understand. You can have all the right pieces together, and something like that happens. You played anybody else almost, and you would have lost. But hey, you worked hard to get that number 1 spot. You got to pick Vic's Doggy Daycare. You've been riddled with injuries, and here you are. So that, for me, I was nervous because I know I was riding a hot streak. Judge Judy, and I think he had 120 fantasy points the week before, ends up only scoring 82, sorry. And but I had a monster week 1 because of Kelsey and Mahomes. So that kind of just set me up to basically win the week almost by that stage. But Yeah, it gets stressful during these times. So, but the big upset was Sherlock Mahomes taking out Up and Adams. And here's the thing, Up and Adams has a good team, a really good team. I was disappointed not to get number one overall because I figured you would like I was going to be playing Christian for that, but man, his team like literally failed. Tom Brady didn't even have 5 fantasy points. Higgins had 2. Henderson had 2 because he got hurt. Elliott and Jones were decent, 13 apiece, but like that's terrible, right? But were you surprised to see that win?
Well, I mean, Sherlock Mahomes had a really good team, right? He has Jalen Hurts, who's been underrated all year. Deebo Samuel has been a stud all year. Fournette got hurt that game, I think, but he's been healthy. Singletary was a surprise. He's been hot the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he had a really good team. So going into that, I mean, if there was an upset, that was going to be the upset.
Yeah. I was surprised. Sherlock was messaging me. He was surprised too. So, but Uncle Rico beating Cursed by Kittle, that's no surprise to anybody. Cursed by Kittle literally has had the worst injuries. This has been the worst year for injuries, COVID, everything on top of it. I don't know if I've ever seen a year like this. So I feel bad. I'm just thankful that Mike made it into the playoffs so he didn't get kicked out because he is a good owner. But Uncle Rico's team is unbelievable. And then I remember going into week 2, you were a little upset at the format because it didn't reseed. It stayed in the format, which actually, hindsight 2020, worked in your favor. You wouldn't even be in the finals. So let's just talk about that for a second. Uncle Rico ends up getting 80 and you get 101, so you clearly beat him. I mean, he was struggling. No Hopkins. Who else? He was missing a bunch of guys, wasn't he?
Yeah, James Robinson got hurt. He only got 1 point, which is lucky. Then he was missing his tight end. Who did he have? Tight end.
Well, he hasn't had tight end for weeks, has he?
Yeah, he was playing Higbee at tight end. I mean, but I was playing CJ Uzama. So yeah, it was the James Robinson injury that really did him in.
Yeah, so if we reseeded, you would have played Mahomes. He got 104. He would have ended up beating you, but that's not what happened. So here we are. I had another great week, 118, which was I'm surprised, honestly, that my team's clicking like this. I'm thankful. But yeah, anyway, so that leads us to here, and here we are, our matchup versus each other. This is going to be absolutely nuts because, 2 weeks, it was the week before playoffs started. We played each other, but you didn't have Jonathan Taylor, and I barely beat you. So I don't think it's as big of a shoe-in as you think it is here. I'm actually really interested to see what will actually happen. What do you think would be the secret to success for either one of us to win? Like, what has to happen? Other than everyone getting injured on a team or something.
Yeah, so your running backs have to be mine, and my wide receivers have to be yours. I think our quarterbacks are going to be pretty well even. My running backs should theoretically beat your running backs, and your receivers should beat mine. So it's a matter of, can one of those guys steal a win over their other position? Can Chubb beat Taylor or Mixon? If he can do that, then you got the win. If I can get CeeDee Lamb to beat Kupp or Jefferson, I can make it close, but I'm not very confident this week. So
right.
And it depends. Waller might play. He's supposed to practice tomorrow. If he plays, that could change the game too. So we'll see.
Yeah, Kelsey's not for sure, but it sounds like it's going to be he's going.
Kelsey's coming back.
So that would be great. But see, so it's basically Mahomes and Allen, and this is where it gets interesting. Allen's probably going to have a big day. Atlanta, he could rip up Atlanta. Mahomes is at Cincy, and I think Cincinnati has a tougher defense than people give them credit for. So I am a little concerned. My other option is Dak versus someone good. Oh, the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm not going there. I'm just I'm just going Mahomes there, but I think the big difference, I'm not hoping is the big difference, is Tampa Bay at the Jets. I've been preaching that Tampa Bay's the defense you want, especially for these last 2 weeks. But you got the Rams playing Baltimore, and who's starting at quarterback for Baltimore? I do not know.
Nobody knows.
So you might have another big week with them too. So I don't know. I think this is closer than you're saying. I'm going with Antonio Brown in that flex spot at the moment. I got a lot of options there, so kind of feel like I'm just going with the best one there. I'm tempted to go Darnell Williams, but he's pretty good when CEH isn't there. So we'll see, man. I don't know. So what do you think? You honestly think, like, it says Yahoo's saying I'm getting 111, you're getting 103, but I have a feeling you're going to score a few more than that.
All right. So here's what Fantasy Pros has to say about our teams.
Okay.
So they got you ranked as the number 1 team to beat this week, and they got me as the number 2 team. They're giving me an edge at quarterback, but Josh Allen is ranked number 1 and Patrick Mahomes is ranked number 2. So it's pretty much a wash. They got Jonathan Taylor ranked number 1 and Chubb ranked number 2. So that's a wash.
Wow.
Mixon is number 5. Montgomery is number 8. So, I mean, again, close. They got Rojo, who's in my flex, as number 6 running back overall, but they got AJ Brown, who's in your flex, as the number 6 wide receiver overall this week. And then you got Kupp and Jefferson, who are running in as number 1 and number 4 overall. CD Lamb, number 8, and Patterson as the RB25. They don't even have him ranked as a wide receiver. So it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be close.
Yeah. And that's what we want, right? So it's gonna be fun. So I just want you to know, if you win, you deserved it. You've fought hard all year. You've done well, and we're in a number of leagues. In fact, you're in 4 finals, if I'm right, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
so that puts you at legendary status, brother. I don't know what. Talk to me about any other owner that's in it with 4 finals, and these aren't public leagues. These are real people who know what they're doing. In fact, you're fighting against Derek in the the subscriber league. That's pretty cool. Yeah, man, I think you've had a phenomenal year. And so I wonder how many of those finals you're going to win. Imagine you win all 4 of those. Wouldn't that be cool?
Can you imagine?
That would be awesome. And then we're in a dynasty league together, and we were the wild cards, made it into it. Now we're in the finals against each other. So we have 2 finals against each other. That's pretty cool. So congratulations on a super successful season.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, thanks. So it's funny because in all my leagues, it's just the show that I want to win the most. But no money on the line, no nothing. It's just the one I care about the most every year. It's pretty funny. All right, let's move over to minor league. Actually, before we do that, 2 teams that did get knocked out of the playoffs or didn't make the playoffs ended up walking away because the 2-tier system of minor league and the show. So the 2 teams that didn't make it were Knuckle Draggers, who are 4-10, and Ruben's Purple People Eaters at 6 and 8. There's some good teams there. So Purple People Eaters, this is their team. I'll put it up on the screen here so people know. Two keepers get selected out of there, but they get the second, whatever team wins minor league gets a choice of the first pick and Knuckle Draggers team, or the second pick and Ruben's team here. And so there's some good keepers on that Purple People Eaters team. I would say that Knuckle Draggers has the better pick, but has the worst keepers. If you were taking that first overall pick with 2 keepers, which keepers would you think that you'd kind of roll with there?
With Ruben's team?
No, with Knuckle Draggers, Matthew's team.
Godwin and Barkley, maybe Connor.
Yeah, see, you do the double running backs there. You could also go to the tight end strategy with Andrews. Godwin, yeah, I don't think I'd go Brown. It depends on where Rogers ends up, but I would probably just go with some of those others. I mean, it depends on what you want to do, right?
Well,
But-
Barkley's been, I mean, super let down all year. But it depends if they upgrade their. I mean, there's the rumor that Russell Wilson could potentially go to New York.
Right.
So if Russ goes there, I mean, Barkley jumps back into RB1 and top 5. So
Mhm. Yeah,
see what
decision
happens in the
doesn't need to
offseason.
be made till August, right? So this is pure speculation here on our behalf. But I don't know, everyone gets mad because like, oh, the keepers are so bad. It's like, yeah, that's because they're last. Like this is the reason why they're last. Like it didn't work out for them, and it is what it is. So I don't know. Would you take that first pick and have the lesser keepers, or would you go with the second pick and better keepers?
I'd be taking Ruben's team and taking the second overall pick.
Yeah, I'm probably would do the same.
All right.
All right.
To keep Ruben's team is just, I mean, you got Jamar Chase, you got Amari Cooper, you got Kareem Hunt, Josh Jacobs. I mean, you got real keepers there. And I mean, the difference between that first and second pick is going to be minimal. So Ruben's team is the team to take.
Mm-hmm. And then guys are like saying, like my friend Peter's in the finals, like, can you take a screenshot of every team in the show and send it to me? I'm like, why would I do that? Just watch the videos that I've been doing every single week, all season.
Yep.
Anyways, I was trying to bug him there. Peter, I know you're going to finally watch this one. Stop it, bro. Come on. Just watch the videos. That's what real people do. All right, excuse me. That is my COVID kicking in. Okay, so if we go to the minor league, disc golf, Ed's disc golf had been having a monster season, ended up being Tatanka 1 versus 8. Hogs upset, hooked on a deal, and get this, dude. The Hogs, who was the first ever finals, actually winner, champion in all of this history's leagues, was Hogs. He took out Hooked on a Thielen, but Hooked on a Thielen scored 36.86 points. He had everyone that had terrible weeks was on his roster. Brady, McLaurin, Cooper had 0.8. Gibson was his only good player. He had 12. Mixon had 6. Ty Conklin had 0.7. Like New England defense, who's been awesome all year, only had 3 against Indianapolis. So it was absolutely nuts, man. It was crazy. So that was the 4 or 5 matchup. And then the quarterfinals, Beach Whales beat Guaranteed Loss. And then Saints, this is the big one. The quarterfinal, first week, Randy's Saints, who I thought had a good chance of winning it all. Now, I didn't realize he was going to be playing Peter's Bo Nose. Lost 81-99. Peter advances. What a monster win. That should have been the final, right? So if you look at the semifinal, Hogs comes up the big upset, number 4 over number 1. Ed's team basically does jack squat and just does nothing. Like we're talking like, I guess, I mean, -3 for the Chargers against Houston. Who would have ever thought of that, right? Herbert only had 16 points, but then you have Bonos, who had a 10-point win over Scott's Beach Whales. Some good owners there. And now we got the final. The final is the Hogs versus Bonos. So both of those guys make the show. And what I'm saying about it is 2 very good owners coming up. You can go down to minor league and be there for a while. So it's not because, oh, you're bad. It's because there's a lot of good owners. So this is huge. I sent you those things. What do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. I mean, Bo Nose should theoretically win this. Burrow, Jefferson, Debo, those guys are studs. Barkley is, I mean, Aaron Jones is going to run all over Barkley. Rashad Penny's been playing really good for Seattle. It's the only thing Seattle can do is run the ball.
Right.
Kelsey, Keenan Allen. Yeah, I mean, that's a stacked team. I like that team. So
Yeah, he looks really good, right? And then Cousins ends up playing Green Bay. But what did he do last time he played against us? He had 25 fantasy points, so he's no chump for sure. I think the big thing is Kittle gonna have another monster 30-point week? You know, I mean, I don't think Garoppolo's playing maybe Trey Lance, right? So,
well, doesn't Jimmy G have a problem with the throwing hand?
yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to take away some of Kittle's power there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, that's going to be a matchup to watch as the tight ends. Should be pretty even, but I mean, the Hogs is going to have to – he's going to have a Singletary week like he's been having. But again, they're playing Atlanta, so, I mean, Singletary could easily get a touchdown or two. Foreman, I'm starting Foreman in one of my leagues just because there's no one else. He's been okay. Philly, I'd be looking to see if there's another defense on the waiver wire.
Really?
We'll see.
Well, who's starting at quarterback for Washington?
Heineke's supposed to be back.
Okay. Might not be a bad move. So, yeah, I think Bono's looks to be the odds-on favorite there. Do you start Burrow against Kansas City or Dak Prescott versus Arizona?
I'd be starting Burrow. I mean, they're such a pass-heavy offense, right? And he's got so many weapons. Yeah. Arizona's good, but they're struggling right now. I'd go Burrow. I honestly would go Burrow over Dak.
Yeah, so I guess we both by looking at this, we both picked Bo Nose to win it all, but we'll find out. Hogs has done bigger upsets than this. And so we'll see. This has been a crazy year. It's been a lot of fun to watch, be a part of. I wish the injuries weren't so bad, but maybe you and I wouldn't be in the finals if the injuries weren't so bad. So it is what it is, right? So yeah, man, this has been a fun year. Any thoughts about anything else going into the playoffs here? Anything about those matchups that you want to talk about?
Nope, not really. I think we beat him to death here. Watch, now that we both took Bono as the Hogs, it's going to kill him. It's not even going to be close.
Yeah, that's how fantasy goes, right? Like unpredictable.
But yeah, no, it's going to be a fun week. Looking forward to Sunday. It's going to be a stressful Sunday. But yeah, congrats to you and making it. And hopefully I can make it close and it's not just a cakewalk all over me here. So.
Well, we'll see, man. So, and it's been a great season. I want to thank everyone for being a part of it. It's been a lot of fun. But in all seriousness, the only reason my leagues are great is because of my owners. And so thanks everyone for being a part of these two leagues. Thanks for being competitive, trying your best. I mean, without you guys like you, Brian, without you guys, it wouldn't be as great, wouldn't be as fun, wouldn't be as competitive. So I do want to give a big shout out to our league and wish everyone a happy new year. Hope that this is your best year yet. And yeah, it's been a wild, fun year that way. I'm kind of glad to have 2021 over personally, but fantasy wise, it's been a blast. So yeah, anyways, thanks everyone for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks so much, Brian, for being on the channel and being in the leagues.
No worries. Thank you.